Left-wing wokeism is satanic from a Sufi Muslim point of view. I recommend all Sufi Muslims aspiring spiritually to stay away from left-wing wokeism and those kinds of postmodern cultural Marxist ideologies of moral relativity, everyone has their own truth, and old other satanic stuff. 5 points, 5 concrete points where Sufi Islam heavily disagrees with modern woke leftism. The first one is collectivism versus individualism. Sufi Islam is more individualistic. You own your own karma, you own your own deeds, you have your own book of deeds and your own duty to Allah. Left-wing wokeism is very collective. It sees you as a collective human being. They usually treat me as a black man, and it's funny, many of these left-wing woke people are like white boys who are 19 and pink hair, and they treat me as a black person. They speak about racism for me, meaning that I'm stupid enough as a black person, that group, to speak about racism and how I experience it myself. And colonialism and imperialism, they speak for me and categorize me as left because I'm black. In their ideology, I should vote for those young 19-year-old boys who have pink hair because I'm black. And I don't know my own best interests. They decide that for me. It's very patronizing, and it's actually kind of hidden racism on the left-wing side that somehow black people are supposed to vote left. Big surprise, I actually didn't vote for the left wing in Sweden recently. I voted for the center-right or liberal conservative. That's like a moderate type of alternative. So the left tends to see human beings as the right as evil and the left as good, and they categorize people based on ethnicity and gender and sexual preference, and they treat people as these groups of collectives. And to me, this has nothing to do with Marxism or any of that. It's just young people looking for their identity. So the left wing is all about identity politics today, and that is against Sufi Islam, because I am not necessarily sort of as an individual responsible morally for other individuals in that group. I'm responsible for my own deeds and my own path to Allah. That is more Sufi Islam. Number 2, the flattening of hierarchy. Sufi Islam is hierarchical. You have maqams and so many different stations, starting from Nafs Amara to Nafs Kamil, or the perfected soul, from the animalistic or how can you say, satanic soul to the holy or saintly soul. And even within the highest maqams, you have so infinitely higher levels and spiritual stations. The highest would be Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or Insan al-Kamil, or the Kutub, the pole of the universe. Versus the modern left wing, everyone is equal. And I have noticed that when I speak to left wing people, 15-year-olds talk to me like we are equal. 19-year-olds talk to me like we are equal, and they are so spoiled and filled with themselves, actually, that they sort of feel that I should argue with them or I should prove myself to them. And I'm like, but you're a young boy. You're not even old yet. So this is not at all the classical way of Islam. We respect the elders and we listen to the elders, and we sort of do not talk up to elderly people but take their wisdom. We can sometimes be angry at elderly people, but there is this respect for wisdom, respect for hierarchy. So yeah, in this sense, Sufi Islam is more conservative. We would look at your experience and your life story and education and all of these kinds of things. Absolutely, they are very significant in Sufi Islam. That's number 2. Number 3, a very simple point. The strange clothing in the woke left, the pink hair, the piercings, the tattoos. A Sufi Muslim would say this is satanic. This person is possessed by the shaitan or the jinn. This is if a Sufi Muslim sees some of these woke left people, they would say that they are straight up possessed by a demon. End of story. Your clothes matter. This white has a certain spiritual significance. The black has, the wooden tasbih has a spiritual significance. The head covering, which is sunnah, has a spiritual significance. The turquoise has a spiritual significance. The red and black, these are chaotic colors actually, if you want to know. That's why they are usually associated with revolution. Red and black is the dying and the fana. So yes, everything has a significance. So be mindful of how you dress and what energy you want to show. The colors matter, the materials matter. Number 4, hypocrisy versus taking this high ground. Left-wing people in the modern sense think that their political opinions are good and their opponent's political opinion is evil. So they tend to take this morally high ground of I am good and you're evil because you like Trump, now you're evil. You like Tucker Carlson, now you're evil. You like Fox News, now you're evil. That's not a Sufi way of looking at it. Again, because Sufi Islam is individualistic, it might be that some of those individuals are evil, but it might be that Tucker Carlson, for example, says something in some time period that a certain person liked. That does not make him evil. Or Donald Trump had 1 or 2 suggestions that particular individual happened to see, and then, oh, Trump makes sense, I will vote for Trump. That does not make him evil. Then maybe Trump or Tucker Carlson says other things that are really, really bad. But it's this individualistic way of viewing people, and a person is a combination of good and evil. That's more Sufi Islam, and it is Allah ultimately that judge you. And yes, it is possible for the Sufi saints to see your book of deeds or how good or evil you are as a person, but you have to be very senior in the Sufi path to be able to see the soul in this sense. But left-wing people on the wokeness, they really moralize very quickly on other people and judge them as evil. And from a Sufi way of looking at that behavior that the modern left does on moralizing, it would be hypocrisy or nifaq. So they would be munafiqun in a Sufi way of looking at it. Because this putting yourself above other people and judging other people is hypocrisy in classical Sufi Islam. A Sufi Muslim is supposed to be sincere and truthful, siddiq, ikhlas. Those are the 4th and 5th maqams of the path of Sheikh Ibrahim Niasse. You're supposed to speak the truth, be honest, be sincere, be real with what you are and real with what you feel. That's more Sufi Islam versus this taking the moral high ground, feeling better than other people. That's the woke left, and that is hypocritical in a classical Sufi Islam. That was 4. Number 5, I think that all of these differences boil down to the Foucault kind of relativity, moral relativity, truth relativity, that everyone has their own truth. That is the woke left. Sufi Islam, no, moral is not relative. Truth is not relative. It is completely, ultimately true that this month right now is September. There is no alternative universe where it is October right now or August right now. It is September by Gregorian counts. Period. This is Friday. Period. This is red color and black color. Period. There is no alternative universe that in your truth, this is green and blue. If you see this as green and blue, you're crazy. You are living completely in the state of your ego. So this moral relativity, everyone has their own truth of the woke left. Everyone has their own moral good and bad. That is straight ego-centric doctrine from a Sufi point of view. That's the state of the ego, the nafs. You are in a pure ego sense, because the ego, by definition, if you study even Buddhistic mysticism, is not real. The ego, when you are in the ego state of mind, you don't see things the way they are, hakika. You see batil, the false world. You live in the illusion of the maya. So having a moral relative point of view, a truth relative point of view, is pure maya, is pure illusion, is pure non-truth, is pure ego consciousness. You don't see the world unfiltered. You're, in matrix terminology, you're purely blue pill. You have not yet taken the red pill to see the matrix for what it is. You don't see the world the way it really is. So from a Sufi point of view, this woke left is satanic and it is ego consciousness. I would recommend you to stay away from it. Yes, you can notice that some of these values are more maybe towards the conservative side, socially conservative, but then when it comes to other things like human values, poverty, and so on, which I would say is more true socialism, Sufis can be very solidaric here. It's not so maybe relevant to categorizing right or left, because I think that right wing and left wing is overlapping a lot today and they are changing. But hopefully this video was clarifying when it comes to the woke left. What are your thoughts? What are your comments? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Have you another experience? Please write it in the comment section below. Hopefully you have a great Friday. Juma Mubarak. Assalamu alaikum.